And welcome back to the program. You're watching 2012 election coverage with the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake, or for the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake's election. Currently in studio today, we have Carl Horn, who's currently on the Mohawk Council as a chief. And I'm your host, Regan Jacobs, or one of your hosts today for this program. So Carl, we're just going to get right back into it. How are you doing, and welcome to studio.
Thank you for having me. It's been stressful last couple of months anyway in regards to the upcoming election. I mean, not for me, but it's the first time that my family is going through it, and sometimes there's some personal attacks, and my family, when you personally attack me, you're almost personally attacking them as well, because I have such a close-knit family. So for me, it's all right. It's a difficult time for them more than anything.
Mm-hmm. What made you decide after 3 years, the last 3 years, you had some pretty tumultuous times while in your tenure? What made you decide to run again?
Well, I've been working for the community now for a total of 15 years. I started when I was a peacekeeper at 20 years old. I did 12 years there.
Mm-hmm.
And like you mentioned, the last 3 years as a council chief. And I would like to continue working for the community in some capacity, but more importantly as a council chief. Mm-hmm. There were some issues that, like you had stated, I was involved with. And there still needs to be a lot of work done on it, especially in the sports and recreation area, mm-hmm. as well as probably the most discussed issue over the last 3 years anyway is the Mercia Bridge project.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two main things that I'd like to continue to be involved with. But more important to me also is the Kahnawake file. Mm-hmm. It's a new generation now. It's time that the Mohawks Kahnawake have more of a say in regards to that land, that property, mm-hmm. as well as the landowners, the private landowners that do own it. My opinion is the deal that they received, the monies that they're getting for leasing their land is peanuts, and it's mm-hmm. In regards to today's standards of what land is worth, it's almost like nothing to them, and it's a shame, and I want to make sure they're involved as much as possible mm-hmm. throughout. I guess the negotiation, if you want to say that.
How long is the lease for?
The year 2021, it should end.
Okay.
But what they're trying to do is trying to get an automatic 25-year extension to that, and as long as I'm sitting at the council table, mm-hmm. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure. After the year 2021, I mean, we're going to have a more role on what goes on mm-hmm. in regards to Kahnawake. Not only the community, because the community owns 8 to 10 acres, I believe, of common land. So I have a say, you have a say, and everybody else out there in the community, but also the individual landowners. Mm-hmm. They have to be consulted on what they want done. Especially, I believe that they deserve the money, the amount of money that they should be getting in regards to the amount of land that they own. What they're getting now it's almost a joke, mm-hmm. and it's like I said, they've been there 100 years now, Kahnawake, and it's mm-hmm. time for a new change. It's time for a change. It's a new generation now, and I want to be a part of that next generation that we can look back and say, you know what, he played a role in taking back that mm-hmm. lands, that piece of property. Whether it be still a golf course or for housing, I don't know how to put housing there. I don't know. There's got to be a lot of environmental issues that have to be addressed. But mm-hmm. I want people to look back and say, Carl Horn played a role in getting those lands back to the community as well as to the private landowners.
Right. You just mentioned that, time for change. It seems to be the slogan around some of the candidates running for council, but just in general, that term keeps coming up. How would you, if re-elected back to the Mohawk Council, what would you change, and based on what, in terms of your experience?
Well, change, it's always, anybody can say it, but to actually do it, it's difficult. Mm-hmm. I just want to try and keep doing what I've been doing the last 3 years, to be honest with you. I want to try and help every individual that calls me and asks me for help, and speak on their behalf. Mm-hmm. It's hard for just one individual to make a change. It has to be the 12 individuals that are sitting there willing to make a change. because any issue that comes to the table, any decision that's made, there's obviously a quorum of 7 chiefs that have to agree to it. And 9 times out of 10, I was the lone chief that was pretty much always objecting to stuff based on the conversation that I had with community members in regards to that specific issue. So for change, like I said, it has to be right across the board. All 12 chiefs have to agree, you know what, we got to change this or we got to change that. And in most cases, you're not going to get it, to be quite honest with you. So I'm not going to worry too much about it unless you know, there's 12 chiefs there that are willing for change. It can't just be 3, 4, 5 chiefs.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I just want to try and keep doing what I've been doing the last 3 years. It seems to be working. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I made mistakes. And
Was it what you thought it would be when you first ran?
No, not at all. I was, like I said, I was a police officer 12 years, and I thought I seen and heard everything in those 12 years. But at the council table level, it's a little different. You know, as a police officer, you sort of have that brotherhood. You're going to a call with another police officer. You know, they're there for your backup. They're there to help. At the council table, I felt there was a lot of, I hate to say it, were jealousy or not hatred. It was just if you weren't doing the things that they liked, you know, they weren't too open to your suggestion, or they weren't too open to your opinion. So in most cases, I had to voice my opinion on my own to the community, either through the radio, through the paper, or through your show here. And that's why when you say change, maybe there has to be some new faces in there, me included, if that's what the people vote on. But I'm open to that sort of change where, okay, maybe there's got to be a different voice, a different group of individuals in there.
Right. What do you think makes you a good leader or a good chief?
Well, first and foremost is I stand up for what I believe, and I'll say it, and I won't retract on things that are important to community members. And more importantly to me is I speak on behalf of community members. When they come to me with an issue and they don't want to voice it themselves, I'm not afraid to speak on their behalf, no matter what the issue is or no matter what the opinion is. Sometimes other community members take it the wrong way, but I'm only 9 times out of 10, I'm speaking on behalf of somebody else within the community, and that's my strength really is I'm not afraid to speak on behalf of community members, no matter what the issue.
I know that and you know, it's true when you say that you're outspoken. I know that every, it seems, 3-year period, there's always one chief that has a little bit more controversy, a little bit more forwardness, and you know, that seems to be you this time around. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. There's issues in the community that people have to voice their opinion on, and like I said before, I'm not afraid to voice my opinion on certain issues. I'm not a very good public speaker, as was attested on Candace night. I have a difficult time sometimes. I mean, obviously, if I'm in this business a long time, I better work on that. But when it's time to make a statement on certain things, I'll say it, and I'll stand by it. It's just, and I'm sure community members out there know and realize that at the council table there are cliques. There are a group of individuals that work together, socialize together, do things together, and sort of not involve the other council chiefs. And I didn't have a problem with that. I was fortunate enough to have Chief Johnny Montour there. He sort of helped me along the way while he was there, and he always taught me, you don't need anybody. One day you're going to make your own clique, and they're going to want to be joining yours. So I mean, just be yourself, and make sure the community's voice is always heard, and you'll always have the support.
Do you feel that you've done that?
To a certain extent, I still have to work on it. Obviously, I mean, there's some issues that and things that I can't say that I'd like to. And community members are wondering why those things can't be said. It's not about a confidentiality issue. It's just about you got to know when you can say things and not in regards to certain issues. I mean, it's not like when I was a police officer where there's certain stuff that you couldn't divulge to the public. I mean, I had a much publicized incident where I was fired for a confidential issue, but I'm aware of what should be confidential and what's a private conversation with a community member. And there's some things that can be said, and I have enough common sense to know when to say it and not to.
Right. What do you think are some of the bigger issues that we're facing as a community right now?
The first one, and I've been saying it for 3 years while I was sitting at the council table, is the drug issue. It's a big issue in our community among our youth, and as a council table, why we haven't addressed it over the last 3 years, you're going to have to ask the other council chiefs, because since day one I've been pushing hard for some kind of involvement with through the council table, and I haven't gotten any support on it, to be quite honest with you. And that's why I feel it's sort of a coincidence that now there's this drug task force that it's being talked about 2-3 months before the election. This was brought up right from day one when I the first time I sat at the council table about the drug issue.
Yes.
And I didn't get no support on it. And I'm not here to throw anybody under the table, literally, I mean, at the council table, but that's one of the main issues that we have to address, not only as a council table or as police, but as a community, because it's affecting a lot of younger generation than it was before. And I'm talking grade 5, grade 6 that are getting involved with it at a younger age. And these are our future generations. And my view on that is the only way that you can combat is you have to address the demand aspect of it, which is our kids that are starting to use it. The supply, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Whether you get it here or you get it over the bridge, Shadigi, whatever. That part is a law enforcement issue. My main concern is it's just like any other business, whether it be a car business or anything else, where you have a supply and a demand. If the demand is not there, then they won't be buying. So you have to attack the demand aspect somehow through education, a proactive approach, whether it be going to schools and that sort of thing. And I was fortunate enough to be able to go to schools with, once again, with Chief Johnny Montori, went to schools with other community members that seen that this was an issue, and we went to schools on a numerous occasion to speak to young students about it. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's been consistent on your part. I mean, I can attest to that. I've been covering the news and media here in Kahnawake, and I remember you doing a lot of work on this the last 3 years at least. So,
but like I said, it's the only way is to address the demand issue, and it starts even at your own home or your own children, to talk to them about it. How you talk to them, that's your business. I'm not going to tell you how to talk to your children, just like you're not going to tell me how to talk to my children. But and then it's sort of ripple effect from there when they go to school. Obviously they're good friends with certain individuals, and they can tell them, listen, you don't need that. Stay away from it, whatever. Right. Because like I said before, the supply and demand aspect of the drug business is it's rampant in our community. It's here, and it's not going to go anywhere unless we try and do something about it. And the only way to do it is you have to address the core individual, which is the youth, and try and eliminate that demand.
Okay. Well, we have to wrap this up. So is there anything else you think is important to add or that you'd like to address with the community?
Well, I just want to thank the community for giving me these last 3 years. Like I said, I worked 15 years now for the community. I'm hoping to get reelected to work another 3 years. If I'm reelected, you'll always have a voice. There's no information or anything that's discussed at the council table that I won't be hesitant to talk to you about. And I wish all the other candidates good luck. We're all there for one reason, and that's to make Kahnawake a better place. Nyawa and Ona.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming in, Carl, and good luck on July 7th. And don't go away as we continue to coverage elections 2012 with the Mohawk Council of Kahnawake. There'll be more coming up on the show. Next up is with Jessica Deer. She's going to take over. So don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.